Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Yesterday I tore apart this Dodge Nitro. I had some things to do, so I had to quit on it early, and the guy who owns it, he's out of town working for the week. He won't be back till Friday, so I have Friday to put it back together till, but I'm gonna get her done today right now and get it done, put it back together. So I got things to do. First thing is I'm gonna put the fuel injectors in the railing. But in order to do that, just take a little Vaseline right on the top on the O-rings. Smear it around the O-rings so they go in nice and easy. Then you just push them into the rail, and they'll pop down in. Let me get the clips. What I do with that one other clip? Oh boy, lost the clip. I know I had it over here. It's got to be here somewhere. I'll look for it. I'll find it. And what you want to do is you want to take the clip. You put the injector in the right way. Oh boy. Put it in upside down. Push the injector in. Boom. And the fuel rail is going to sit like this, so we want the plug on the outside. Like this. And we're going to take the clip. Slide it over. Locks on. That easy. There's one. The hardest part's getting all the injectors lined up to go into the railing. That's the hardest part. I gotta find that other clip. Well, let me put all the injectors in first and then I'll look for it. It's here. Excuse me. Excuse me again. You can find my dullest razor blade. Some more Vaseline on. I mean, you can put these on dry. But the problem with putting them on dry is you put them on dry, it's a lot better chance that you're going to tear the O-ring putting it in. Ask me how I know. Did it one day, put a single injector in the guy's car. I was kind of in a hurry, so I didn't want to go look for my Vaseline and mess with it. So I was like, I don't need it, I'll throw it in dry. Threw it in dry. Started it up, and it leaked. Tore the injector back out, and it was because I tore the O-ring putting it in. Okay. I think I might put the plugs in before I put this fuel rail back on because it'll be a lot easier getting the plugs in. without the fuel rail in the way. At least that's the plan anyways. You don't need a whole bunch, just enough just to coat the O-ring. Just to make it slippy, so that when you put it in, it don't tear it. They just pop in, which I'll show you here on this next one. They just pop right in. Yeah, leave that clip too. Go ahead. Okay, there's them three. Then we'll have to Vaseline the bottom of them up and push them in, put the bolts in, tighten them down, and we should be good to go. Just enough to coat them. And all you do is you take your fuel rail, just get it in there, boom, give it a little push and she pops right in. Take your clip, push it on. She's locked in there. Pretty simple job. I mean, I've worked on some cars where getting at the injectors, you have to tear half the motor off, the intake and everything else. This here didn't have to. Like I said, I don't know why they were showing on the internet that you got to take it off. And I even made sure I looked it up for a 3.7. But on the internet, they're saying you had to take the intake off, and I didn't have to. Okay, that's 5. Now let's see if I can find that other clip. I need it. Gotta have it, gotta have it. What the heck did I do with it? Me and my absent-mindedness. Probably put it up somewhere. Let me get rid of all this garbage here. Okay. Oh boy. This is not good. Definitely need that injector clip. I guess I'm going to have to put you guys on pause till I look for it. I don't think you're going to watch me looking for an injector clip. And I had it yesterday, because I remember I took it off that old injector. got to be here somewhere. Alright, let me look for this and then I'll be back. Alright guys, I'm back. Found it. Dropped it on the floor. Alright. Yeah, I didn't think Yins wanted to watch me look around like an idiot looking for an ejector clip that I should have been more careful with. But it happens. I remember watching a video one time on YouTube where a guy was working on a car and he lost one of the on a GM, on like a Trailblazer, you have a little wiring harness for the gas tank fuel pump that goes from the gas tank to the frame, and then the fuel pump plugs into it, and it's about a foot long. I remember watching a video one time where a guy was changing the fuel pump on one of them, and he disconnected that harness and took it out, put it somewhere and couldn't find it. He looked everywhere and could not find it. He had to end up buying one, and the only place that sold it was GM. He paid like $80-something for this wiring harness. Put it in, got it all back together, got it running, took it for a ride. And then in the process of taking it for a ride, happened to look in the back seat, and there it was laying in the back seat. After he spent $80-something on it. And it was already installed. In order to change it, it had to drop the tank. That's a bad day. Definitely a bad day. Alright, now I'm just lubing up the bottom of these O-rings. I'll turn these down so you can see. I don't know if you really want to or not, but just putting some Vaseline on them. And I'll take yins over and set yins up and show yins where these go down in and how I cleaned them all up and all that good stuff. Just give them just a light enough coating that they're a little slippy so that they slide in without tearing the O-rings. So like I said, I mean, I've put them in before. When I first started working on cars, well, not when I first started, because back then they didn't have injection, but I've worked on cars years ago that I've put them in and they didn't rip. But then the last two I did that way, they ripped. So I said, no mo. No mo, no mo, no mo. So I started lubing them. Alright, let's see if I can put ends up here. First I'm going to put the plugs in. Rags covering the holes for right now so no garbage and nothing fell down inside the engine block. And I got a gappies. Let me find my gapper. There it is. In the last 3 years I must have bought 5 of these spark plug gappers. I just use these. That's all they are. That's what I use to gap them. I used to have a fancy one, but nowadays not too many people get plugs in their vehicles. I mean, most people get rid of them by the time they need plugs. These are gapped at 40 thousandths. So let me put it in my socket here, which these are nice, these sockets here. They're made for one, like the Hemis. This is not an extension, it's built into the socket and it's a wobble. Because on the Hemis, the back two on each side's up under the firewall. You gotta have this in order to get them out. And I just put it in and start it by hand. Because one thing you don't ever want to do is start a spark plug with an impact gun. My brother-in-law one time did that. Put a spark plug in and started it with an impact gun. Well, needless to say, he cross-threaded it. Then he called me, asking me about it. And I asked him, I said, did you just start like the first couple threads or did you get it in the whole ways? He's like, no, I put it in the whole ways. I was like, yeah. Told him to take it back out and put a helicoil in it. And that's what he did. Had to put a helicoil in it and helicoil it. Damn it, and there went my gapper. Ha ha. Well, looks like I'm gonna have to take the grill out. That's the only gapper I got. Unless it fell out on the floor, but I didn't hear it. Nope. Well, I think that's the only one I got. Pretty sure it is. I might have another. Let me look real quick. Alright, found one. Okay, got this one gapped. Let's throw this one in. And spark plugs should always go in real easy. You should be able to put them in real easy with your fingers and tighten them till they're finger tight for a good bit. If you put it in and it's right away really hard and it didn't come out hard, then you got a problem. Take it out before you do any damage and try it again. Alright. Yeah, these magnetic spark plug sockets, man, they're the bomb. Especially when you're working on a vehicle, which is most vehicles like this, that the plugs sits down inside the heads. They're awesome. Don't have to worry about the spark plugs falling out. And okay, there's them three. Let me get this side. Drop this one down in and then once I get it all back together, clear the codes, check for leaks. No leaks, then take it for a test ride and see how it runs. It ran like poo, man. You could tell it was misfiring on the cylinder. As soon as you start it up, it runs fine for about the first 5 seconds. Then it would start missing. Which I honestly think it was a coil pack. It did not feel like an injector miss to me. It felt like a coil pack miss, but I could be wrong. And like I said, number 4 spark plug wasn't even tightened down. It was finger loose. The crush washer wasn't even crushed. And in order to fire, they got to ground. They got to ground on the head. And crush that crush washer so no compression escapes by it. I think that was his problem. Could have been. Or it was a bad coil, but he didn't ask me to diagnose it. He said a buddy told him this is what was wrong and wanted me to fix it, so I just do what they ask. That's all I do. Okay, that one's pretty much right on the money gap. Okay. Now, I'll show yous guys. I'll get yous down in here and show yous. Let me flip you around. There, you can see the injector hole. And right there's the plug hole. The injector hole, I had to clean them all out. 3 on each side. And then these injectors, just line them up with the holes, push them down in, and they pop right in. And then put the bolts in to hold them in place. And that's it. Pretty simple. Pretty simple mechanics. Mathemechanics. There we go. Okay, let's get this wiring harness out of here. Okay. Okay, there's that side. Let me get this side. There's that one. There's them two. You just want to try and get them all lined up on the first shot. Shit. Not pop them out like I just did. Okay. Now let's start our bolts. And just a bit of advice, if you're doing this, start all 4 bolts by hand before you tighten it down. Let me see who's blowing the horn for what. Okay, I'm back. I thought maybe my dog might have got out of the yard, but he didn't. But usually he don't take off, he don't run. So, okay, there's 3. And there's 4. Alright. Let me figure out what I do with my 8mm socket. There it is. I'm going to need the extension. Just run these down. Till they're snug, and then we'll torque them down. Click. Click. See, all torqued. Yeah, I'm glad I put the plugs in before I did these. So that'd have been a bear trying to get down in there. Alright, let me plug all the fuel injectors in. I can't see back there. I'm blind. Need my flashlight. What'd I do with it? I only got 9 of them. Might have to grab another one, because I don't see it. I do not see it. Did I put it over here? Yep, there it is. Ah, this one ought to be fun. Actually, wasn't bad at all. Not bad at all. Alright. Those are plugs for the coil packs. There's that one. There's that one. There's that one. Alright, now let's try and get these ones. Problem is, this one I can't see. Now, let me move this back over where it belongs. I had to move the wiring harness because it was a lot easier just to move it. Okay. Now, let's see, I might have enough room. Can't really see what I'm doing down here anyways. It's so far down in here. There we go. There's one. There's 2. There's 3. Okay, them injectors are all in. All right, now let me hook. This goes onto here. This goes up through there. Okay. Reconnect the fuel rail, which it just slides over. And it'll click in place. And you got this little metal clip here that you just slide over it. And it's a lock, so to prevent it from coming back off. See? That's it for that. Alright. Now we can throw the coil packs in. CarQuest Premium. And let me grab my dielectric grease. I like to put just a squirt of dielectric grease in them. One, it repels water, and two, it helps it so that the spark don't jump. That there's about all you need. Just a little dab. Alright, let's get this one back in here. This one's gonna be the hard one. Remove this wire, coil wire, plug, and these you just push down, that's it. You just push them on. I'll tell Shane's here in a minute. Let me get this side done and I'll show you that side. We just take a little dab, about like that. Boom. That one's in. That's what I should be able to get from up here. The fuel rail. It's hitting the fuel rail. Come on, there you go. Okay, there's them three. And they just slide over these studs right here. There's one here, one here, one here. Just slide it down over, slide it into the hole over the spark plug. And you can't miss the spark plug. It'll get on over it. Get it in the hole and just press down till it bottoms out. That's it. Pretty simple. His receipts, which I'm going to have to pick up and put back in the car. I ain't showing you that information, because he paid with a credit card, and I don't want that kind of information out. There's that one. And the last one. Just slide down over and push it down in. Boom. That's it. Now the nuts. 1, 2, 3. There's that one. Stupid oil dipstick is in the way of everything. Which yesterday when I checked it, it was a quart low. I'm going to add a quart of oil to it for him. I topped off the washer fluid, checked all the fluids. It's just something I do as a, yeah, he's definitely down a quart. I do it as an extra added bonus for the customer. I usually check the air pressure on all 4 tires, air them up, top off the washer fluid, check all the fluids and all the lights. It's something I've always done. Just a little added thing. Now these coils, you do not want to tighten down tight, real tight. I mean, when this, as you can hear, I'm just like touching it quick, hitting the trigger quick and letting off. When it snugs, stop, and then do it by hand. Because these are plastic, you will break them. I've never broken one, but I know a couple people who have. There we go. There we go. And you also got to remember these run down through the intake also. So you also take a chance you could crack the intake too. I just snug them up just enough so that I know they're not going to work loose. Okay. That's tight. Now let's plug them all in. Like I said, there's no lock tabs on these. There wasn't when I took them off. They were missing. Somebody has worked on this prior. As you can see, it's got a new throttle body on it. That I did not put on. There we go. And these things are tight. Tiger tight. There we go. There we go in that one. All three in, all three clicks. Now we're going to push these in just to make sure. Okay. And that's it. That's all there is to it. It's done. I got to put the air cleaner on. The only problem is putting the air cleaner on, you really can't see down in there to see if the injectors are leaking. But then if I start it without it, it ain't going to run right. But I could start it long enough just to make sure the injectors ain't leaking. Then I'll have to shut it off, put the air cleaner on. And then clear the codes, and then take it for a ride and see how it runs. Grab my flashlight here. All right, let me go. I gotta cycle the key a few times. A lot better than it did. We've got no leaks. That's what I needed to know. Okay, no leaks. So now I can put the air cleaner on, clear the codes, and take it for a ride. The air cleaner bolts on. There's these 2 star bolts, bottom corners, and they go into here. And then in the back here, there's a hose clamp right here. Clamp it down. Okay, that one started. They're just at a piss poor place. It's hard to. There we go. These only go into plastic too, so you don't want to be torquilizing on these things really hard. Just enough so that they're snug. Should be good. Throw the brake clean down there. Don't need that no more. And these 2 bolts are a T30 Torx socket, or some people call them star sockets, whatever. Same difference. Alright, let's get back here and tighten this hose clamp. Okay, and I'll take you around to the other side so you can see how this goes together. I guess yins will sit up there pretty easy, huh? Okay. But I can't see the screen to make sure yins can see what I'm seeing. Okay, and this part right here, there's a hole right here. You can see it just slips in. There, then there's 2. I don't feel like it's in the pins. No, it is not. Okay. Because oh yeah, it does. I'm putting it in the wrong place. Duh. There we go. No, that ain't. It's gotta be that way. No, that ain't right. Okay. An air box cleaner is gonna defeat me here. There we go. Well, that sits at a weird angle, doesn't it? So I didn't think I had it in right, because the angle it's sitting, but I do. I do. And this has these hooks right here. As you can see, all these hooks, and they just put it on here. The hose. And these go on here. Just like that, so you don't have an air leak. And then there's two clips. Right here. One here and one here. Boom. They're down. Then you have this little pipe here. There's a little nipple on the back of this. This goes over. Then there should be a plug, which is right here for the mass airflow. Plug that in. And tighten up the hose clamps. And that's it. It's done. All I got to do is clear the codes in and take her for a ride. See how she runs. I got to throw a quart of oil in it for him. Gather up my tools, folks, and that's it. That's all she wrote. Show's over. Not too bad of a job. Pretty simple job. Pretty simple. So, that's all there is. That's it. Putting coils, injectors, and plugs in an 06 Nitro with a 3.7. I mean, it's pretty simple, straightforward, easy job. So it's not bad at all. But, alright guys, that's it. I'm going to wind this one up, put all my tools away, take this for a ride, and move on to the next one. I got body work to do here on another car. The back quarters. And next week I'm going to have a Dodge Ram coming. I got to do mass airflow. I got to do license plate lights. And a window motor. And I'd probably bring you guys along and show you that. But if I have any problems with this as far as the test drive or anything, I'll turn the camera back on and go from there. But I doubt it. Seemed to run pretty good here. So the O2 sensors are going to have to adjust now. But they will. I'll keep an eye on it. So, alright guys, thanks for watching. Till the next time, remember, if you don't do it right, it's not worth doing. Thanks.